Hey everybody, just figured I'd check in and see if anybody could use a hand doing some mock cuts using GarageBand or Mixcraft if you have a PC. Any Mac would have GarageBand on it already. But for your TMEA auditions or preparation for auditions, sometimes it's nice to be able to have some cuts set up for your students. So here we go. To do that, you're going to need two things. You're going to need iTunes and you're going to need GarageBand. So let's open first iTunes. And obviously yours will open in the center like this. But the first thing you're going to do is figure out what you want to select cuts from. And these are actually Allstate tracks from a few years back. But let's say I'm going to use this Jubilate Deo and this Sing Joyfully. So what I can do is select the ones that I want, either just one at a time, or I can hit the control button, the command button, and that'll allow me to select different ones. And then I'm going to drag them over onto my desktop over here. Sometimes you can drag them directly into GarageBand, but depending on the settings of the import settings or the import information, you may need to kind of drop a new copy for it to recognize it. So it's always just safer to go ahead and use the desktop. So here we go. I'm going to drag these over to my desktop. And boom, I've got two new recordings here, and they're actually just MP3 copies of what I had in my iTunes folder. You can delete them when you're done after you've made your CD. Alright, so we're done with iTunes for a moment. We're going to close that up, and we're going to open up GarageBand. And I'm going to move it kind of out of the way so I can see those recordings that I had come to. Let me fix something so it's the way you'll see it when you open it up. Okay. Alright, so you're going to take these two recordings and just going to select them and drop them on into your workspace. So I'm just clicking, holding, and releasing into this workspace in GarageBand. Now, don't panic, because when you hit play, it's going to play them both exactly at the same time. And again, just so it's, I wanted to set it back the way yours will be when you open it. So listen to what you get when you hit play. Oh my goodness. Kind of crazy. First thing let's do, let's get rid of the metronome. So go to your control menu, drop down, and click on metronome, and that turns it off. You can see there was a check mark there before, and now it's turned off. And now let's deal with the fact that these things are happening on top of each other. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you're going to grab by highlighting. See how when I click on the bottom one, it turns a different shade top and bottom. If I click on the bottom one, let's say that's the second one we're going to use. For now, we're going to take that and just drag it way off to the side and leave it out here in future space. So there's that recording, and all I've done here is just kind of pushed it down the line so I don't have to think about it for a second. Now let's say in your recording you want to see, and I can drag this back over to the beginning so it's butted up from where you start at the beginning. Right now you're looking at beats and measures, and that's not very helpful when you're trying to find a particular spot on a CD track or a recorded track. So what you're going to do is come down here to the bottom, and you see where this music note is? You're going to select that, and you're going to go to time. And now notice at the top of the screen when I click it, way up here, now it's not bars and measures anymore, or beats and measures. Now it's actually time indicators going in real time, seconds and minutes. So now let's say that your cut is approximately going to start at, I don't know, 20 seconds, and you want it to go to, say, 35 seconds. Okay? Here's the first thing you're going to want to do. You're going to want to be able to see what the heck's going on right there so you make a good cut. Down in the lower left-hand corner, this little arrow that I'm clicking on that's turning blue right here, this allows you to zoom in. And so notice as I zoom out or zoom in, it changes the graphic to kind of show you a big picture or a small picture. So I'm going to zoom in pretty carefully to see. And as you can tell, it is still kind of difficult to see what's going on. So the next thing that we're going to need to do is look even closer. So we're going to come down to look in this edit menu. See the scissors down here? That's your edit menu, and as long as the track is selected in blue up here, that's going to show you whatever's coming after it in this space, in this recording. So, let's play it for a second. Now it took it a second to catch up with it, but now you'll see that the playhead is corresponding with the bigger, kind of zoomed out version. This is like micro, this is like macro. So if I do that, I can sit here and decide exactly where I want my cut to be. So let's say I want it to be on this here downbeat or this note, okay? And you can kind of tell from the graphic that that obviously matches up. So now I want to come back up here to my edit menu, and there's a function called split. So I'm going to select that, and watch what it did. It made two separate recordings. It made the first or the old half, and now the part that I'm going to use. So you can take the part of your cut that you don't want, the part from 0 up to 20 or wherever we're at, and you can just hit the delete button, poof, and there it's gone. And now you can take your track and drag it on over to the beginning. You don't need your edit window for the moment, so you can close that again by hitting scissors. And notice if you back it up to the beginning, you'll hear it from wherever that section was. And let's say your cut wants to go approximately through here. Again, you can use the edit window to figure out exactly, and let it catch up with itself. See exactly what's going on here. And again, if you want to get crazy, this zoom in function here will take you down to a millionth of a second or something like that, so you could really get specific if you wanted to. Anyway, but then once you figure out where it's going to be, you're going to go to split, and there it made two halves. You can grab the one that you don't need, hit the delete button, poof, and there it is. Now you've got yourself a cut of your first song. Now let's come back over here and grab this guy that we had put out into space and drag him back over so it's closer. And let's say that in this recording we wanted to create a separation or a cut point right here. Again, you can zoom in to check it out with your edit function, and it's going to take it a second to catch up. It kind of goes hyperspeed for a minute. And let's say, oh yeah, let's go right there. That's where we wanted our cut to start. We go up to split or to Command T. Get rid of the part that we don't need, slide it on over. And this is important. If you wanted to do it like the audition, you can leave yourself the appropriate amount of time right in this area here between when this one ends and where this one starts. Okay? And let's say that at the end of our cut we wanted it to be here. Again, split, get rid of the part that you don't need, and there we go. We've got ourselves a cut. Notice if I play from the end here, now we have silence because there's no recording, and it's about to hit the lower one. Now remember, in the edit window, it will see whatever you've highlighted up here. So notice when I've highlighted the Sing Joyfully, I don't see anything because there's no recording at this particular point. When I click on the Jubilate Deo, it's a different story. Okay? One more cool thing to show you here before we put this back into a way we can use this onto a CD or a thumb drive. What happens if you want to make it sound all cool and fade in and fade out like the auditions frequently do? If you come to each of your tracks and hit this little arrow that's right here, I'm going to click it a couple times so you can see it, and then enable by clicking on this box. Again, I'm going to click it a few times so you can see it. Okay, you'll see this line that represents the volume in real time come up underneath your recording. You can actually, by clicking and putting a couple waypoints and then dragging one of those waypoints down, create a fade in and fade out effect. So each of these, and I can do the same thing with the next track, will fade in and fade out. Whoops, I gotta go over here and grab this guy too. Fade in and fade out. Okay, so now if I back it up, watch what happens in the playhead right here. Watch it as it goes across this graphic. Here we go. And now it has a nice fade in, and when we get to this point, it has a fade out. Once you hit this arrow back up, you don't have to worry about seeing that anymore. Okay, so let me show you how to pop this thing back out into iTunes so you then can burn CDs. Once you like your cuts and exactly how they work, you can also adjust the volume by doing this. Actually, we can't adjust the volume because we did the automation, but you can adjust a lot of different things beforehand, or if you don't use the fancy automation, you can do it that way. But if you're all set to go, you're going to come up to Share, and when you click Share, you're going to drop it down to Send Song to iTunes. So when you do that, click on it. It's going to dump it to whatever playlist you want it to go to. Mine's going to say Kenneth Lebonsky's playlist, and you can tell it the how much memory you want it to chew up. You want it to be high quality, super high quality. Usually the middle setting is just fine. You'll hit Share. It'll create a mix down. It'll normalize it so it's relatively loud on the track. Convert it to an MP3 or whatever format you selected. And the nice thing is when you're all finished with this, it will automatically open up iTunes and show you where that song is. From that point, you can either take this and either rename it Practice Cuts, or you could have named the file that to begin with. But from that point, you can burn it to a CD or export it to a thumb drive or whatever you want to do, just like burning a CD from a normal playlist, and you're good to go. Hope it helps. Happy German. Good luck at auditions.